Now, India's music legacy has been so rich
Right.
in such, such amazing stuff that we've done over 100+ years.
Right.
I really wonder if we have done enough, or is there something that we're doing wrong that's not allowing our music to travel beyond the Indian diaspora as much as many of these, other ethnicities manage to do. Any thoughts on that? Because we truly are creating world-class stuff.
Yeah,
It's just
but
not traveling as it should.
I think our classical music traveled faster than pop music. That's what I personally feel. I think Pandit Ravi Shankar ji,
Yeah, I mean,
Zakir Hussain Saab, these are the guys who took Indian music
to the world
globally, right?
Yeah.
But I personally feel our pop music is also, it's heard. It's not that it's not heard. People in the West have met a lot of producers and this and that. They've heard our music, right? But what they are interested in is in our culture, our music, our instruments, our ragas. We are so rich in our ragas.
Exactly.
India is rich in ragas. India is rich in the beats. Our Indian instruments are unreal. Means what the variety we have, no one else in the world has that kind of variety. But they're interested in that. They're not interested in hearing us doing what they've already done. We get a lot of calls from people who want to collaborate with us, and they want to collaborate with us because of our songwriting skills. But sonically, they are very interested in our Indian instruments. But it only freaks me out when you see one a very zen kind of a spa sequence in one of your on the Western series, and then you use tabla and sitar, and it's just like really, I get very angry. I get very angry with that. I get very angry because they show you that the protagonist goes into a spa and suddenly there's sitar and tabla happening. So I was like, why the hell are they doing this? So that just freaks me out every single time. Right. That the Western people still think that a sensual, erotic sequence is like sitar and tabla bajao piche.
Right. Yeah. The other thing I really want to take this towards is the new big thing, which I think is only scratching the tip of the iceberg, which is live concerts. Now, you and Vishal really are the OGs of the advent of showmanship when it comes to live.
We love being on stage.
And even now, I mean, I know how tough it's been, by the way, to get your date between all the concerts and performances you're doing for this.
Especially this season has been.
Absolutely. But I think what's really something that makes me feel very proud about our fraternity in some sense is what Diljit Dosanjh is doing, right?
Right.
Where he is a sensation not just in India, but what he did at Coachella, or what he's doing at these amazing global platforms.
Yeah.
Now, as somebody who's really been the OG of this space, where do you think is this whole play of live concerts headed? Because
I think it's
amazing.
It's only getting bigger.
Yeah.
It's only getting bigger, and I think there are a lot of artists who have the potential to make it, huge right now. What happened was this. Again, I'm coming back to this whole pandemic thing where a lot of people started kind of consuming. They had times with their phones. Everyone had a lot of time on hand, and then a lot of content kept on coming. A lot of songs kept on being reinvented. I remember about 7-8 years back, one song release which happened suddenly was starting trending during like last 2-3 years back. So, kabhi bhi kuch bhi, because of the whole social media reel format, anything was blowing up, right? A song blows up, the artist concerts blow up, right? And like Coldplay about 6-7 years back, 8 years back when they came to Bombay, there wasn't that crazy hysteria about Coldplay. We all love Coldplay, right? That's great. But what people saw in the last 4-5 years, the kind of concerts they do, the way and the wristband and the kind of stage and the kind of the way Chris Martin performs and the whole band performs and the experience of going to a Coldplay concert. Right now, suddenly everyone's just talking about that. It's just hyped completely. It's crazy. Rightly so. But the thing is, I'm just like, everything blew up from the time, this whole social media madness started happening on Instagram. A song called Hook Up, which I sang for Student of the Year Part 2, suddenly comes in the top 3 consumed songs of mine till now. So I was like, I said, wow. I said, how did that happen? Ishq Wala Love, Bin Tere Reprise, it all, like, suddenly what happened was that because of someone putting up a reel or someone kind of putting up a song as a as a part of their reel started blowing up for some reason, right? So today, when I release a song, I'm not worried about whether the song is going to trend today or do well today. It can also do well in the next 1 year or 1.5 years or 2 years. Depends on how the song travels on social media.
If you can just get down to a bit of a dissection around what are the aspects that it takes for a singer to become a performer.
The thing is, for Vishal and me, we kind of were performers before we kind of started making music for films. So that being on stage, playing for people was already a thing we used to do independently. But then we started doing the Bollywood concerts, right? And it just, the interaction became easier. Getting love from people, like when you're singing a song and people finish the entire song for you, you know that the song is huge. You know that you're getting so much love from people. Me as a person, I love being on stage. I love jumping around on stage. I love kind of singing ballads on stage. I love kind of getting that whole audience energy coming straight at me. So I love that kind of thing. Vishal also is the same exactly. So both of us kind of have a blast on stage, whether it's a shadi or whether it's a college concert or whether it's a public show. It's for us. It's like you get on stage and it's different energy altogether. And I think a lot of artists I've seen kind of starting with their first show, second show, third show. I think everyone starts getting better and better and better and better. I can see a graph, an upward graph, because the audience makes you feel like that. You could be a singer in the studio, singing your song very quietly and getting done with it. But when you come in front of the audience will give you the energy to become a big performer.
One nasty habit that our industry has is बेटा मैं तुम्हें break दूंगा, बेटा तुम मेरी picture करोगे, बेटा ये star है. And then when you tend to ask कि sir वो fees, and then कई बार होता है बेटा तुम पैसे भी लोगे. Has that ever happened?
No, people have told me तुम्हें पैसे क्या जरूरत है? Producers ऐसे क्या पैसे चाहिए? क्यों चाहिए? क्या जरूरत है पैसे की? अच्छा है ये.
Fascinating.
It's interesting when someone says क्यों क्या जरूरत है आपको पैसे की? इतने पैसे क्यों चाहिए आपको? पैसे क्यों चाहिए आपको first of all?
I think it's been amazing the kind of diversity of filmmakers that you guys have collaborated with to create music.
Right.
And of course, the diversity of the music that you created with them.
Yeah.
I'd actually love to take you back into the experience of working with some of these people. Right?
Yeah.
I'll name a filmmaker or an actor, and these are people you worked with.
Right.
I'd love to know through anecdotes, through stories that you've lived, about how amazingly diverse the processes were, or how amazing the experiences of working with all of them were, right?
Right.
The first time you guys did something for Karan as a director was Student of the Year, right? Where he was launching 3, young kids who had gone on to become superstars.
Yeah.
How did that go about?
So we worked with Karan as a producer. He used to come and listen to all the songs once a director approved the song. But then when we kind of were offered this film, Karan being the director, we were very excited and also quite challenging actually. That such a big director kind of, working with us as a director and not as a producer who kind of comes in. Karan always used to be a creative producer in the sense he always used to really, really jam with us and kind of, gave us a lot of ideas what he would expect from a song. And I think as a collaborator, Karan is fantastic. He's just like even a producer, director with a composer, he's great because he's got some great taste in music. He also has great taste in lyrics. He also knows the pulse of the audience. He also knows exactly what the audience is going to like. And great fun. First song we cracked was Radha on the film. And once Radha happens, he knew exactly that, the boys are right for it and done. The song is done. And then I think that was also the first song he picturized.
Okay, Farah Khan, you've done Om Shanti Om and Happy New Year with her. Happy New Year, of course, came later. But Om Shanti Om flew musical.
Farah Khan was a person who trusted us with the biggest film of our life, with Om Shanti Om. So Farah and us, we did a lot of advertising work together before Om Shanti Om. And then one day she said that, will you guys do music for my film, Om Shanti Om? And we should go and meet Shah Rukh and sit with him. And Shah Rukh being extremely warm and extremely amazing and looked at us and said, tum log karoge music, Om Shanti Om ka. I said, yeah, great. Come on, let's do it. And the excitement. And Javed Saab, working with him was again a great process and all those every single day of going to Farah's house or Javed Saab's house and working on the songs of Om Shanti Om, and the food and the jokes and the stories and the humor, and but the joy we kind of felt of making the songs of Om Shanti was amazing.
Sujoy Ghosh.
Sujoy, oi, Sujoy Ghosh, kya bolo, pagal aadmi. One of my closest friends. After Pyar Mein Kabhi Kabhi, we had a lull of about 2.5 years setting up a studio. कोई picture नहीं है, मुसु मुसु आसी, वो पहली बार, दिल से मेरे, all songs became hits, right? But उसके बाद for 2 years, no work. And one day we get a call from our friend Rajiv Masand that Mr. Sujoy Ghosh wants to meet you. So we went to Sujoy, and you know, he wrote his film Jankar Beats, and he gave us a narration, and then his passion for filmmaking and his passion for R.D. Burman and our friendship made our relationship very strong. And Sujoy is not a director and a composer relationship, is more than that now. He's family now.
So these are filmmakers. Let's move to collaborating artists.
Right.
Javed Saab, one personality that truly intrigues me. I truly believe the man can, purely with what he says, command an audience and keep them entertained every second.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how those, you know, the movies that you did with him,
Yeah.
just the process of collaborating with a legend like that, who is probably 80-ish now and still the youngest man in his head in terms
Oh yes.
of the way.
Oh my God. He's far is much ahead of his time, his game, everything. The way he writes, like I think for any composer, he's just like the. It feels as if the song was written first and then composed. So he makes you feel like that. In the sense, you make a song generally and ऐसे जावेद साहब ये धुन है, तो उस पर जावेद साहब लिखेंगे. लेकिन वो लिखने के बाद ऐसा लगता है कि वो लिरिक्स पहले आएंगे, उसके बाद कंपोज किया होगा. दर्द डिस्को, I remember Farah saying कि give me rubbish in this song. I want rubbish happening in this song. कुछ भी डाल दो. And then and Akhlo Hosh Namidanam is a full Persian. And then Dard Disco came out of there. Again, this was again madness in one room together. So I still remember that whole mad times of putting this song together and you know how that song came about, how Om Shanti Om came out, because that how the other songs of Om Shanti Om came about. I mean, that soundtrack is still the most loved Vishal and Shekhar soundtrack.
I mean, it's probably the most complete soundtrack there has been.
Yeah, I mean, there's a variety of music and how in that, you know what I'm saying?
While we are on Om Shanti Om, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh my God.
So many that you've done with him, and such amazing ones.
Grace and so much of respect and so much of love and so much of trust. You know, there's always one person who comes and gives you a lot of energy in a room. Shah Rukh Khan is that person. He comes and there's just like throws in so much of positivity that you always kind of, as a creator, you always come out with something really fresh and lovely.
Yeah, the one with whom you have for 100% strike rate when it comes to track record, Lord Siddharth Anand.
The Lord Siddharth Anand. Again, a very dear friend, family. His passion of filmmaking, his joy, his madness of filmmaking, the way he kind of is so much into it. In the way he is invested in the process of making a song is itself a documentary. And someone should kind of just sit and shoot a Siddharth Anand session of music, the way he kind of gets into each song and very, very clear about and always ready to experiment with a new style of music. I think that's the reason why Vishal and Shekhar and Siddharth Anand combination has been special, because we always, three of us, sit together and when we kind of think, yaar, ab kya karenge ye film mein? He said, come on, let's try this, something new. And that's when something special happens.
Amazing. And I've kept this for the last because, you know, in case you chose to get scandalized, paranoid, jump out of the window. Aditya Chopra, right? If you're allowed to speak about it.
God.
But two things, right? I want to speak about this in two contexts. One, of course, is Befikre, which was a very fun soundtrack, very unlike what Aditya Chopra has ever done before. And the other thing, which of course, you know, not much can be spoken about yet, I guess, but something that's very unique in its own way, where you're doing the DDLJ musical.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear that whole experience of working with him on both of these fronts.
So Aditya Chopra itself is a person you kind of look up to and respect for the way he is as a person, and for him being the kind of the creative producer and filmmaker that he is, I think one thing I've learned from Adi, and I'm still learning, is like how to make the process fun and not take any pressure. Basically, it was one of the best experiences of my life where Adi said, generally what happens is on a film, we take about many days, many situations, or if there's a certain situation, then figure out what genre will go into it, make one scratch, second scratch, third scratch, 7-8 scratches, keep on making like क्या fit होगा, क्या अच्छा लगेगा, क्या whatever. He said एक काम करते हैं, ये मेरी पिक्चर की कहानी है, बेफिक्रे की, और इसमें हम लोग एक काम करेंगे, हम लोग 15 दिन बैठ के गाने बनाओ आप लोग, उसके बाद हम लोग 15 दिन बंद करेंगे सब कुछ, don't listen to that music. Then after 15 days come back and jam. Between 15 days and 15 days अपना music मिल जाएगा. So you put all energies first 15 days after hearing the script and take a break another 15 days and then you एक महीने में, then he called us and said our songs are done. This, these are our melodies. Very childlike, and he makes you also like a child, that we start enjoying the song even more when you see his face smiling. Every single music director should work with Aditya Chopra to understand you will not even realize that the music of the film is done.
And about the DDLJ musical, I mean, because that's a different format
So
of entertainment.
DDLJ music, it's a this is the whole different script
Format
altogether. It's a different script altogether.
Right.
It's written by Nell Benjamin. It's an adaptation of the movie DDLJ with 17 English new songs in it. So it's pop music. It's new music, and we did a pre-Broadway thing in San Diego, which did really well, and now we're doing pre-West End, and in June we have 3 weeks of showing happening there.
Amazing.
So we are really excited about that, and again spending another 1.5-2 months with Adi is going to be great fun. Looking forward to rejoicing all the compositions of the Come Fall in Love DDLJ musical.
अभी इसका फ्लिप साइड, सबसे खराब वर्किंग एक्सपीरियंस किसके साथ रहा है और क्या रहा है? चलो आप नाम नहीं लेना चाहो कोई बात नहीं, बट व्हाट्स बीन द मोस्ट मेस्ड अप एक्सपीरियंस दैट यू हैव हैड एज अ कोलैबोरेटर?
एक ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस था जहां हमने एक फिल्म का पूरा साउंड ट्रैक कर लिया था, और मेरी एक जर्नलिस्ट फ्रेंड है जिसने फ़ोन किया और कहा कि अरे यार तेरा नया गाना बहुत अच्छा है यार, ऐसे तूने कहाँ सुना? ऐसे मैं अभी सुन रही हूँ, शूट हो रहा है अभी वो गाना. आई सेड वो गाना मैंने नहीं बनाया, मेरा तो हो गया ऑलरेडी, एवरीथिंग इज डन. नहीं तुम्हारा गाना चल रहा है. तो मैंने वो बोला यार ये नया गाना कहाँ से आ गया? तो डायरेक्टर को मैंने फ़ोन किया, तो डायरेक्टर ने कहा कि यार ऐसा है कि नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, अगर होगा तो मैं पिक्चर छोड़ूंगा, मैं पिक्चरें छोड़ दूंगा. तो बाद में पता चला कि वो गाना था पिक्चर के अंदर और किसी और का था. अब उससे ज़्यादा मैं क्या कहूँ.
और डायरेक्टर ने पिक्चर छोड़ी या
नहीं,
पिक्चरें छोड़ी,
नहीं,
आपके साथ काम करना छोड़ दिया?
क्या लगता है आपको?
मेरे ख्याल से आपने उनके साथ काम करना छोड़ दिया, होपफुली.
नहीं, उन्होंने पिक्चरें नहीं छोड़ी.
नहीं, उनके साथ पिक्चरें करना छोड़ दी?
नहीं.
And after having been a composer and a singer for as long, you've had a new baby recently, which is Garud Music, right? Where you've also become a music label.
Yeah.
Would really love to know what's your vision for that and what's driving you to do what you're doing there.
So during the pandemic, I kind of decided that I'm going to start as a process. I'm going to write one song every day. So I remember the day of lockdown, I got my entire gear set up in my bedroom, and my wife was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "No, I'm setting up my gear here. This is going to be my studio, right? While the lockdown is on. And every day I'm going to write one song, which I'll start in the morning, I'll finish in the evening, and then in the night when I go for a walk, I'm going to hear the song in my headphones." And I wanted to go back to those days of writing a song for nothing. When you write a song for nothing means you have a situation which you made in your head. I spoke to a few lyricists. I said, "ये मुझे करना है हर रोज." Right? I spoke to Amitabh Bhattacharya, I spoke to Kumar, I spoke to Anvita, I spoke to Priya Saraiya. I said all these, and they were like, done. We are ready to do this with you. Every day during the entire lockdown, I kept on writing songs. I kept on making music, and started to fall in love with music all over again. And that kind of drove me to kind of start my own record label. And when I started Garud Music, and right now I'm 27 songs in, and I'm releasing the 28th song, which is a Tamil song. And I'm really, really excited about that. Also collaborating with new artists and collaborating with established artists on Garud. So that's been a lot of fun. Like I'm working with a lot of kids from ex-Berkeley, ex-Trinity. I'm working with 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds. I'm also working with Arijit, Shreya, Sunidhi. So the whole collaborative process has been fantastic.
As an artist who has serious credibility, this is something you could have done with a music label, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure all of them would have been pretty willing to collaborate
Right,
on this.
right.
What was the drive behind starting your own? Because this process, like I said,
I think when you start, when I decided to start my own label, you have creative control over everything. Like you kind of know your maths, you kind of know your, you have a plan of action, you have a decision making process of how fast you want the song to kind of release. I've actually done I'm not kidding, I've recorded a song first day. Second day, I've actually shot the reel of the song. Third day, I've got the song mixed. In 6 days, I had the song released. I had a song release out in 8 days after creating the song. So I think because of being able to control this scenario, I decided to have my own record label. And also, you are 100% owner in your company. So
Shekhar, the other aspect that I really should talk about in terms of collaborations and all of that is the Telugu films that you did, right?
yeah.
Very different fraternity compared to ours. The intrinsic difference I see is that Hindi, of course, especially since the time you guys came in, has really been corporatized a lot, right? Where there's studios, there are producers. It's a slightly more formal process,
Right.
in terms of the ecosystem. Versus which Telugu is what? I mean, you can't even call it a fraternity. It's 6.5 families, right?
Yeah.
Who literally own the entire ecosystem. They're the studio, they're the producers. The producer's son is the hero,
Right.
and most of them are married into each other.
Right.
Now, the difference as a creative artist,
Yeah.
around having worked with as many Hindi filmmakers and artists versus these two Telugu films that you did.
The thing is, it's been crazy. Like after Om Shanti Om, we did Chintakala Ravi. And then we did Na Peru Surya with Allu Arjun. I think they come to you with so much of love and respect. And you know how huge they are, how massive they are, and they're so down to earth, all of them. And they are kind of, and they make you feel so comfortable about, sir, you don't worry about language, sir, we'll take care of it, sir. Don't worry about that. We'll have a lyricist who'll match everything. We just want a nice song from you. Very positive, giving you that energy, giving you that kind of belief that you can definitely kind of score for a film with a different language altogether, where some words you don't understand, but you know exactly, and they start singing, and they were so musical, all of them. Yeah, I mean, I've worked with the director, the actor, the producer, everyone sings here. So that's amazing. In the South fraternities, everyone can sing, everyone can kind of right sur tempo also. Sir, can we try and increase this light? So aware and so knowledgeable about ragas, music, rhythm, and I'm so clear about things. I think that joy is amazing. Loved it. I remember Allu Arjun. I'm so sorry, I'm going to that discussion where Allu came for Naperu Surya's music setting, and there were 30-40 people outside my studio. So I was like, "Arey yaar, like people really know Allu Arjun, yeah, because of his big super hit South films." And then my staff told me, "Ke sir, yaar, Allu Arjun साहब यार बहुत जबरदस्त भोजपुरी films करते हैं." So I was like, "Huh?" I said, as I went to, he said, "Yeah, these are all dub movies."
Yeah.
And his dub movies are huge, are massive, and that's the reason of the crazy. Am I right? Is it
Absolutely in the heartland?
So if you understand the heartland really well, then like a Garud Music or a new record label can penetrate through those 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 boundaries, those borders, basically.
We've spoken about the actors you worked with, some amazing filmmakers, a couple of people who have really been in giant positions in the entertainment sector when it comes to the music, right? Uh, Experience on collaborating with or working with, let's say, Mr. Bhushan Kumar.
So as a producer, haven't worked with Bhushan.
As a label.
As a label, yeah, as a label, I think he's dealt more with the producer than the creator. But I remember many years ago where Sonu was acting in a film and he wanted us to do one song, Love in Nepal.
Yeah.
So we had done one song for him, and then at that point, we were told that you have to go to Bhushanji's office and present him the song. So that was a very unique experience altogether. Samir Saab also had come along, and it was really amazing to kind of see the kind of. Actually, it was Bhushan's quote. I remember he said कि यार दो तरह का म्यूजिक चलता है दर्द वाला और डांस म्यूजिक. And when we said this thing to Farah, which Bhushan was absolutely right about, Farah said, यार दर्द disco कर देते इसको. So that's the dard disco idea came actually from Bhushanji.
Amazing. And on a closing note, Shekhar, it's a very evolving space where music is, whether it's live concerts, whether it's indie music, whether it's films. The process has changed drastically and it's still evolving and it's very fluid. Your thoughts on how this landscape is evolving and where do you, as somebody who's been around for so long and I'm sure intend to be around for much longer, your reflections on the past and your your thoughts on the future?
I feel it's changing. Everything is going to go on changing. And I think there's a lot of spaces which are happening at the moment. There's going to get blurry and blurry and blurry till something comes and really becomes clearer. And what happens is for every single artist who's kind of figuring out कि यार कौन सा गाना चल रहा है और क्या नहीं चल रहा है और या कौन सी फिल्म चल रही है या कौन सी नहीं चल रही, हम क्या बनाएं हम क्या नहीं बनाएं, and then that this constant doubt of what to make, what not to make for any creative person right now is a bit disturbing, which was not there earlier. There used to be a freedom of expressing. That freedom of expression needs to come back again. And studios need to support that. Producers need to support that freedom of expression, because if once that happens, then we'll have great films coming up, great music coming up. But that freedom needs to happen. Right now, there's too much on the line for a lot of people, right? And I think there's a slight imbalance, which I think is there at the moment in the whole business, which I think will be balanced if something comes and sets the mood correct for the business. I feel we need more love stories. I feel we need more love songs. I feel we need a variety of songs in a film. I think we need one voice for the entire soundtrack, one composer for the entire soundtrack, to celebrate music, to kind of tell a story like a director says a story from the beginning to end. We also need a music director and lyricist to say the story from the beginning to end. And the whole thing of people taking one song from here, another from there, a third from there, which is going to happen. Even that is going to happen, right? Sometimes it works. Like a film like Animal had various
Curation
of यहाँ से एक, यहाँ से एक, यहाँ से एक, but it worked. So it might work again also. But I still want to see that time where people kind of really make memories out of a soundtrack. I think that needs to really come back. Directors need to start believing very strongly in their technicians. I think the producers need to start believing in their directors very strongly. I think the studio should start believing in the project they are, putting together.
Amazing. I couldn't have thought of a better note to close this conversation.
Yeah, I said exactly what I felt
that
like.
truly came from the heart.
Because I want to see it happening. I want to see. There are so many singers out there. There's so many composers out there. Everyone should get an opportunity. Everyone should get the chance. And they're all waiting for it. There are so many directors waiting with their ready scripts in their hand. The whole system needs to come into play, that from the studio till the technician, everything comes in a proper alignment so that the right product goes out to the market.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Shekhar. I mean, those were amazing insights, some fascinating anecdotes,
Yeah.
and I'm sure our listeners would thoroughly enjoy listening to this.
Yes.
And more than that, I really hope that people who really want to be in the film, in the field of movies and more so music, I truly hope they take some inspiration from the last bit you said about, about that process being so much more joyful.
Yeah.
I hope that comes back.
Because I have been working with a lot of kids, as I said, a lot of teenagers, a lot of, these ex-Berkeley kids who are at the moment, they don't know what's happening. And then experiences with, the production houses, or whether it's a director they are working with. And because everything is a slight blurry, even their process is becoming a little blurry, which I would not like that to happen. I would like it to be very clear for the filmmaker, very clear for the technician who's working for you. Might be a newcomer or might be an established person, but keep the glass clean. If you keep it
Sanctity
clean,
of it.
if you keep the glass clean, you'll be able to see what's on the other side.
Cheers to that. Hopefully, better times soon ahead.
Cheers to the filmy hustle.
Thank
Akshay
you.
Rathie,
Not at
my
all.
friend, killing it. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.